In international litigation, one overlooked document could cost you the entire case. Courts around the world expect every single document to be clear, complete, and in the right language. Do you know exactly which documents could make or break your case? Hi, I'm Jason Ellinger from TaikaTranslations, and when you're dealing with international business and international lawsuits, preparation of the content is everything. Missing a single translation, missing one document, not following the bureaucratic procedure for submission could lead to you having your case rejected, delayed, paused, or cast out for complete resubmission. In this video, I'm going to explain what documents you need, why they matter, and how to prepare them the right way. Let's start with the core set of documents that are required in almost any international litigation. So in international business litigation, you're going to need your contracts and agreements that you have with any vendors or suppliers or anyone who's involved in that case. This includes purchase agreements, employee contracts, vendor agreements, licensing deals, contracts with the government, and any other contract remotely related to that case. The international courts are working to understand the agreements exactly as they were intended. The second set of documents that you need to have ready and prepared are any court filings and pleadings that you've done up to this point. That could be complaints, motions of any kind, responses from the government, notifications from the government on any of the issues that you're facing, notifications from your clients or vendors or whoever's entering into the litigation process with you. And all these are required even if all of these documents are in your team's native language or your legal counsel's native language. But the foreign courts are going to need them in their language. So the next type of documentation that you're going to need to submit is evidence and discovery materials. Now, this is anything and everything almost in this category related to the litigation case that we're already talking about. So that could be emails, that could be memos, that could be text messages between you and the supplier, WhatsApp messages, whatever type of communication you've had back and forth. All of that can go into the case file for proving your point or the validity of your complaint. These documents provide key proof and defense, and even mistranslating a single one of them can undermine your credibility. Now, I know that there's a lot of technology out there and we use a lot of technology, but there's always a human aspect in the processing of a translation because a computer can never fully and completely understand every human and their intent. And being able to understand the content and the context in which it was written is vitally important. 2 or 3 missed sentences throughout your email conversation or your WhatsApp conversation or Skype or whatever, and the case goes a completely different direction. Well, you said this about that point in the contract, here, right here in your WhatsApp message or in your text messages, and this means that you have no complaint. So 1 or 2 or 3 misinterpretations or outside of the context translations in your documentation, and all of a sudden you have no complaints. You have to receive or take full responsibility for something that you didn't say. And too often that happens in the sphere of translation, especially when we're processing everything through a digital platform. That's dangerous and can lead to adverse effects on your litigation case. That's why TaikaTranslations is very, very careful with all litigation work that it actually goes through a set of human eyes in the human context for that case. So in addition to these items, you're going to need financial records. That means audits, tax filings, balance sheets, bank statements, transaction reports. The courts and the opposing legal counsel analyze these line by line to make sure they're in compliance and to verify claims or damages. So oftentimes what we see when we're dealing with international litigation is international licensing as well. And all of that licensing has to be translated. So this is licenses, permits, licenses to do business in a given country, government correspondence regarding those licensing processes, insurance reports, and any other regulatory proof that allows you to be able to do business in that industry or that category must be submitted in accordance with the guidelines for your case. And these are at least as important or more important than the contracts that you have themselves. Understanding some of this documentation is a really good start, but let's make it real with some really practical scenarios for you, because just hearing about all of that litigation stuff or the documents required is a little bit boring. So let's move into some real practical stuff that we've seen over our years of experience doing work in this area. So imagine a European company who is suing a supplier in Asia over a shipment delay for one of their most recent goods purchases. So they need to translate the supplier agreements and the amendments, the shipment logs and customs paperwork, and emails between the logistics and procurement teams. And that is going to help them to move the case forwards. And pretty much most of what they're going to need to be able to complete the entire litigation process. In another scenario, we've got a US tech firm that has a patent infringement in South America, and they had to translate all the patent applications, the technical diagrams and charts, the internal research and development communications, and all the information around the actual parameters and design specifications for that patent and that specific product that they've released into the marketplace. And somebody else copied and started to take advantage of their brand, causing them financial loss. In each of these situations, thorough humanized translation and document organization and preparation ensured the courts had everything they needed to make a very swift and concise decision. So as you can see, translating the right documents with the right format, with the right preparation, could keep you from having disastrous delays or rejection, or even losing the case. That's why having an experienced partner like TaikaTranslations can save you time, a lot of money, and a lot of stress, because chances are we've navigated this process before with others. Don't risk delays, don't risk court rejections because you didn't have the correct translation of your international documents done on time and in the format required. Don't risk mistranslations, and don't risk not having translations translated in its context. TaikaTranslations has years of helping companies navigate international litigation processes across many different languages. Contact us today to ensure your document is accurate, certified, and court ready.